In this lesson, you'll learn useful business English for risk management, compliance, and protecting confidential information. Let's begin. Phrase 1. Assess the risk. Assess the risk. Meaning, to evaluate the likelihood and possible impact of a problem. Example, before approving the project, we need to assess the risk of sharing data with an external vendor. Risk assessment helps a team understand what could go wrong and how serious the consequences might be. It often considers probability, financial impact, operational disruption, and reputation. Use this phrase before making a decision that involves uncertainty, sensitive information, a new supplier, or a change in process. Now repeat. Assess the risk. Phrase 2. Conduct due diligence. Conduct due diligence. Meaning, to investigate a person, company, or opportunity carefully before making a commitment. Example, the legal team will conduct due diligence before we sign the partnership agreement. Due diligence is a structured review of facts, documents, risks, and obligations. A company may examine financial records, ownership, legal history, security practices, and business reputation. This phrase is common in partnerships, investments, acquisitions, and supplier selection, where careful investigation can prevent costly surprises later. Now repeat. Conduct due diligence. Phrase 3. Comply with regulations. Comply with regulations. Meaning, to follow the laws and official rules that apply to an organization. Example, our data retention policy must comply with regulations in every market where we operate. Regulations are mandatory requirements created by government or industry authorities. Compliance may affect how a company stores data, reports transactions, protects employees, or serves customers. Use this phrase when confirming that a policy, product, or business process meets the legal standards that apply in a particular country or industry. Now repeat. Comply with regulations. Phrase 4. Protect confidential information. Protect confidential information. Meaning, to keep sensitive business or personal information from unauthorized access or disclosure. Example, please use the secure portal to protect confidential information during the review. Confidential information can include customer data, financial results, contracts, product plans, and employee records. Protecting it requires appropriate access, secure systems, careful communication, and responsible disposal. Use this phrase when reminding colleagues how sensitive material should be shared, stored, discussed, or handled outside the office. Now repeat. Protect confidential information. Phrase 5. Strengthen internal controls. Strengthen internal controls. Meaning, to improve the procedures that prevent errors, misuse, or unauthorized activity. Example, we introduced a second approval step to strengthen internal controls around large payments. Internal controls are checks built into daily operations, such as approvals, access limits, reconciliations, and separation of duties. Strengthening them reduces the chance of mistakes or misconduct. This phrase is useful when an audit identifies a weakness or when a growing business needs more reliable financial and operational processes. Now repeat. Strengthen internal controls. Phrase 6. Maintain an audit trail. Maintain an audit trail, meaning to keep a clear record showing who performed each action and when. Example, the system maintains an audit trail for every change made to a customer account. An audit trail makes important activity traceable. It may record approvals, edits, dates, users, and supporting documents. A reliable trail helps reviewers verify what happened and investigate unusual events. Use this phrase when discussing record keeping, system logs, financial transactions, or processes that require accountability and evidence. Now repeat, maintain an audit trail. Phrase 7. Report a breach. Report a breach. Meaning, to formally notify the appropriate people that security or confidentiality has been compromised. Example, employees must report a breach immediately, even if the full impact is not yet known. A breach may involve exposed data, unauthorized system access, or accidental disclosure of confidential material. Early reporting allows specialists to contain the incident, preserve evidence, and meet notification deadlines. Use this phrase in security procedures and incident communication when speed and accurate escalation are essential. Now repeat, report a breach. Phrase 8. Identify a control weakness. Identify a control weakness. Meaning, to find a gap in a process that may allow errors or improper activity. Example, the review identified a control weakness in the way temporary access was approved. A control weakness means an existing safeguard is missing, unclear, or not working as intended. Identifying one does not necessarily mean a loss has occurred, but it shows where risk is higher. This phrase is common in audits, process reviews, and discussions about improving oversight before a problem develops. Now repeat, identify a control weakness. Phrase 9. Close a compliance gap. Close a compliance gap. Meaning, to correct an area where current practice does not fully meet a required standard. Example, the updated consent process will close a compliance gap found during the regional review. A compliance gap is the difference between what rules require and what the organization currently does. Closing it may involve changing a policy, updating software, training employees, or collecting better evidence. Use this phrase when describing a specific improvement designed to bring operations into full compliance. Now repeat, close a compliance gap. Phrase 10. Implement corrective action. Implement corrective action. Meaning, to put a specific solution in place after discovering a problem or failure. Example, management agreed to implement corrective action within 30 days of the audit. Corrective action addresses the cause of a confirmed issue and reduces the chance that it will happen again. It should normally have an owner, deadline, and measurable result. Use this phrase after an incident, audit finding, customer complaint, or quality failure when the organization moves from analysis to improvement. Now repeat, implement corrective action. Phrase 11. Monitor ongoing risk. Monitor ongoing risk. Meaning, to keep watching for changes that may increase or reduce exposure over time. Example, a monthly dashboard helps the committee monitor ongoing risk across key suppliers. Risk is not fixed, so a one-time assessment may become outdated. Monitoring can include performance indicators, incident reports, regulatory changes, and supplier conditions. Use this phrase when a team needs regular visibility after a decision has been made or a control has been introduced. Now repeat, monitor ongoing risk. Phrase 12. Meet a regulatory requirement. Meet a regulatory requirement. Meaning, to satisfy a specific obligation established by an official authority. Example, the company changed its reporting process to meet a new regulatory requirement. A regulatory requirement may set a deadline, reporting format, safety standard, approval process, or data protection obligation. Meeting it requires evidence that the organization has taken the required action. Use this phrase when explaining why a policy or process must change, especially when the obligation is not optional. Now repeat, meet a regulatory requirement. Excellent work! You have practiced 12 expressions for risk management, compliance, and information protection. Choose 3 phrases and use each one in a sentence about a realistic workplace situation. Connecting the language to a decision, control, or incident will help you remember it and use it naturally. Continue with the next part for more business English speaking practice.